Okay, grade 8, you need to do lesson 5 of chapter 4. It says compare properties of functions. It is on page 309 of your book. Okay? Whatever we are doing in lesson 5 is exactly what we have done. So in this lesson, we are just comparing. Okay? In this lesson, you'll be required to know how to read. You must answer what the question wants. You must answer all the parts to the question. All of them you must answer. So here is your success criteria. You must know how to read correctly. You must know what the question wants from you. You must know how many parts of the question need to be answered, how to answer in a complete sentence, what compare means in math, because that's what the lesson is about. You must know the symbol and meaning for each inequality, the properties of a function, how to get slope from a table, a graph, equation, or story, how to get y-intercept from a table, graph, story, or equation. Okay, so that's your success criteria. Comparing. In math, when we compare or when we are comparing, we use inequalities. Okay? What are inequalities? These signs over here are inequalities. So in math, we have 5 types of inequalities, and you should know them in words and in symbols. Less than, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Remember, we read left to right. So then the value you write over here has to be less than the value you write over here. The value you write over here has to be greater than the value you write over here. Okay? The values of both sides has to be the same. The values you write, this has to be more than 1, or depending on your question. So depending on your question, you will have to choose the correct one. Okay? Now, properties of a function. There are 2 properties in a function, or there are 2 properties of a function. The slope and the y-intercept. So when I ask you to compare the properties of a function, I am asking you to first find the slope and then compare them, and then find the y-intercepts and then compare them. Okay? So just a quick reminder from what we have learned before, how to find slope if they've given you an equation. So in linear equations, we say they come in 4 forms: direct variation, slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and standard form. If you've been given direct variation, the number with x is the slope together with the sign. The y-intercept is 0 because you don't see it. Okay? So the slope here is 7. The y-intercept is 0. The y-intercept is 0 all the time when you have direct variation. So you write 0 or 0, 0. Okay? The slope-intercept form, the number with x together with its sign is the slope. The number that is added or subtracted is the y-intercept. So the slope here is negative 4/5. And the y-intercept is negative 9 or 0, negative 9. Okay, so now when you have point slope form, you should already know that this is going to be your slope. But first write your equation. But you should know this is your slope. This number right here outside the bracket is the slope. So we're going to do the distributive property. So this is y minus 7.5 equals to 0.8x minus 3. Then you draw your bridge. You add 7.5 on both sides. This goes away. Remember, you always want y by itself. You have 0.8x, and negative 3 plus 7.5 is positive 4.5. Okay, so I can check, but I don't need to. You should know your time. You should know how to add and subtract without the calculator. negative 3 plus 7.5, positive 4.5, which I wrote over there. So now my slope is 0.8 and my y-intercept is 4.5 or 0.4.5. Now you have standard form. Remember, you want y by itself. You draw your bridge. This x has to go on this side. Since it is negative, you will add on both sides. This is a house. They belong together because they are like terms. So now you have 30y equals to 5x. This 6 is positive plus 6. This 5x is positive, so that's why you wrote it there. Y is still not by itself, so you divide everybody by 30. So this goes away. 30 divided 30 is 1, so 1 times y is 1. 5 over 130, if you simplify, you should get 1 over 6x. And this you should get 1 over 5x, 1 over 5. Okay? If you simplify 5 over 30, the common factor is 5. You should get 1 over 6. So that's how I got 1 over 6. If you simplify 6 over 30, the common factor is 6. And that gives you 1 over 5. So what is your slope? Your slope is 1 over 6. And your y-intercept is 1 over 5 or 0.1 over 5 or 0.2. Okay? I think that's what it is. 1 over 5 is 0.2. I am sure about that. 1 divided 5 press SD is 0.2. So there. Okay? So if you've been given an equation, okay? When they give you a table and they ask you to find the slope and the y-intercept, I come here and I look for x equals to 0. When I see x equals to 0, this is my y-intercept. My y-intercept is negative 6 or 0.6. Right there, y-intercept. Now, I need to find the slope. I pick any two numbers, doesn't matter. I'll choose this one and this one. So this is my y1, my y2, my x1, my x2. Slope equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. y2 is 4 minus 8 over negative 5 minus negative 7. This becomes positive 4 minus 8 over negative 5 plus 7. That becomes 4 minus 8 is negative 4, sorry. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Negative 5 plus 7 is 2. Negative 4 divided 2 is negative 2. So your slope is negative 2. Just like that. Okay? I do the same thing here. I don't see x being 0. So that means I will need to calculate. So now here I have to do slope. Doesn't matter which one I do. x1, y1, x2, y2. Pick any 2 points. It doesn't matter. Slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 284 minus 140 over 98 minus 50. 4, 4, 1, 8, 4, 48. See, I don't need a calculator. I know how to subtract without a calculator. See, 144, I wrote 144. 98 minus 50, 48. 48. You should be able to do all these calculations without a calculator. I can simplify using 12. Divide by 12, divide by 12. I will get 12 over 4. I can still simplify using 4. Divide by 4, divide by 4. My answer is positive 3. So my slope is 3. Then since I know my slope is 3, I can find my y-intercept. I can do it two ways. I either do point slope or slope intercept form. So if I do point slope, I'll do y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. I'll choose a smaller number. Y minus 32 equals, so this is my y. So I'm going to use the 0.4 comma 32 xy. My m is 3. My x minus 14. So this becomes 3 times x, 3 times negative 14. Y minus 32 equals 3x minus 42. Am I right? 14 times 3. Yes. Plus 32 plus 32. My equation should be y equals 3x. Don't forget your bridge. This is 3x, this is 10. And that will be negative 10. Negative 42 plus 32 is negative 10. My y-intercept is negative 10 or 0 comma negative 10. And there. I know how to get slope from a table and y-intercept. Okay? So if there is 0, you just look. If there is no 0 on x, then you have to calculate. So we have done using point slope. You can do using slope intercept form. I will do at the back over here. So if I want to do with slope intercept form, I will say y equals to mx plus b. I will use the same points, 14, 32, and my slope is 3, because that's what we got over here when we calculated. So then my y is 32 equals my slope 14 plus b. 32 equals 42 plus b. I want b by itself. I will minus 42 on both sides. This house goes away. I am left with b, and 32 minus 42 is negative 10, which is the same thing we got over here. See? So you can either use slope intercept form, slope intercept form, or you can use, this one is point slope form, point slope form. It's up to you. You make a decision. You, by yourself. Okay. Now, how do you find slope and y-intercept from a graph? You just go here. Make sure you've labeled. So, where your line crosses the y-axis, this is the y-intercept. So that is 0, 5, 0, 5, or 5. And then my slope, so I have my first point, 0, 5. Then I can do this one, 5, 0. So I have 2 points. So this is my y2, my x2, my y1, my x1. Slope, I use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Y2 is 0 minus 5 over 5 minus 0. I should know my answer will be negative. Why? Because my line is going down. Then I just put negative here. Just by looking at my line, I know it's going down, so my answer should be negative. So this is what? Negative 5 over 5, which is negative 1. And there is my slope. Just like that. Okay? Now, I already see my line is starting, my graph is starting at 0, 0. My y-intercept is 0 or 0, 0. My slope, I go to 1. Always look for the 1 and go there. If you don't see the 1, choose any, 2 and 4. So you will do slope equals y over x because it is direct variation. So look, my y is 2, my x is 1. When x is 1, y is 2. So my slope is positive 2. How do I know I am correct? Because my line is going up. If I chose 2, I would have done 4 over 2. Why? 2 on x, 4 on y. That still gave me 2. So my slope is 2. If I am not sure, then I do the formula. I pick 2 points, label them x1, y1, x2, y2, do the formula. I should still get 2. Okay? So in math, you have to work strategically. You have to work strategically. For direct variation, you already know it starts at 0, 0, your y-intercept is 0. Khalas. Then you look for the number that when x is 1, the y, that will be your slope. Just like that. If you forget, then you do the formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? So you know how to get slope from the table. You know how to get y-intercept from the table. You know how to get y-intercept from an equation, from a slope from an equation. You should know another name for slope is rate of change. You should know that. Okay? All right. So, let us do this one for comparing. My pencil has become blunt. Let me get a pen. Okay. All right. So here, this means you need to know how to read. When you're comparing fractions, there must be 2 or more. Aisha and Maitha are swimming. So there should be a function for Aisha and a function for Maitha. Already. So Aisha and Maitha are in a swimming gala. What is a swimming gala? It is a swimming competition. Mr. Khalid is their teacher. Mr. Khalid has to choose between the 2 who is to represent the school in the final meet. So Mr. Khalid has to make a decision who he has to send. Okay? Now, help Mr. Khalid to make the best decision. Mr. Khalid has to use information to make decision. He cannot just say, oh, I like Aisha, I'm going to send Aisha. No. Or I like Maitha, I'm going to send Maitha. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to use information. Okay? All right. And you have to justify your reason. Aisha swims 17 meters per minute. There you go. There is Aisha's information. So since I want to work, I will write here Aisha. So Aisha swims. So that means there is no other number, so this is a direct variation. So this is y equals 17x. So that means Aisha's slope is 17 over 1. So 1 minute, 17 meters. Okay? This is Aisha's information. So Aisha's slope is 17. This is Aisha's information. Now, what did they tell me? I need to find Metha. The graph shows Metha's details. So I see its direct variation, so I need to find the slope. I'll do 20 over. So Metha's slope is y over x, and my first point here is 20 over 10, which is 2. Okay? So Metha is y equals to 2x. That means 2 meters per minute. This is my x, this is my y. Okay, so her slope is 2. So Mr. Khalid has to make a decision whether he wants Aisha or Metha. He should choose Aisha. Why? Aisha swims a longer distance within a shorter time. Metha swims a shorter distance, so Aisha is faster. Okay? So what does it say? Help Mr. Khalid to make the best decision and justify your reasoning. Mr. Khalid should choose, who is this? Aisha, because her speed is faster than Metha's. Okay? And then you say here 17 is greater than 2. So you're comparing. Okay? Aisha has a faster speed. That means she will finish her race faster. So when you're swimming, you need to swim faster to win the race. Okay? So Aisha, because her speed is faster than Metha's speed. And you finish. There. You have compared. And you have helped Mr. Khalid to make a decision. And you have justified. Her speed is faster than Metha because 17 is greater than 2. There is your justification. Okay? All right. Let's do this other one. So here, you're comparing two functions. The function C equals to 35.75B, where C is the cost of bananas sold per kilo B, represents the sale of bananas at Souk Safarana. So there is Souk Safarana. Then I continue. The cost of bananas sold at Lulu. So I'm comparing Souk Safarana and Lulu are shown in the table. So this table is for Lulu. This function is for Souk Safarana. Okay? Okay. Assume the relationship is linear between the two quantities. Okay? The relationship between the two quantities is linear. Compare the functions Y-intercepts. I need to find the Y-intercepts and I need to find the rates of change. If you want to buy 15 kilograms, I also have to do this one. If you want to buy 15 kilograms from each store, how much money do I need? How much money will you need for each? Okay. So here I am going to do for Souk Safarana. And here I am going to do for Lulu. All right. Souk Safarana's slope is just 35.75. And there is nothing added or subtracted, so the y-intercept is 0. Then Lulu, I need to come here. I need to find the slope. So slope for Lulu, this is y2, this is y1, this is x1, this is x2. So I will do y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Okay, so 851.50 minus 655 over 26 minus 20. That should give me something over 6. 851.50 minus 655. That should give me 196.50. 196.50. 196.50 divided by 6. That should give me 32.75. 32.75. So slope is 32.75. Right there. Now I need to find the y-intercept. So I'm going to use this 2 endpoint slope form. So I'm going to do here y minus y1 equals to m bracket x minus x1. Okay. Y minus 655 equals to 32.75 x minus 20. Y minus 655 equals to, I do distributive property, this with x and this with negative 20. So 32.75 x, okay, so 32.75 times 20 is 655. So minus 655. See, I did it over there. Okay, then I do my bridge. Plus 655 plus 655. My bridge is here. This goes away. So y equals to 32.75x, because also this goes away. So the y-intercept is 0. So now I want to compare the y-intercepts. I will say the y-intercepts for both stores is 0. Kalas. Because 0 equals to 0, they are the same. Okay? So they are equal. So they are equal. And then the rate of change, who is bigger? I can say Zafarana is more expensive than Lulu. Why? Because 35.75 is greater than 32.75. I can say that Zafarana is more expensive than Lulu because 35.75 is greater than 32.75. So it is better to buy at Lulu. So it is better, or the better buy is Lulu. So it is better to buy from Lulu, because you'll spend less money at Lulu. You will spend more money at Zouk Safarana. Okay? Then what did they say? If you want to buy 15 kilograms from each store, how much money will you need for each? So here I will do for Zafarana, and here I will do for Lulu. The equation for Zafarana is y equals to 35.75x, and the equation for Lulu is y equals to 32.75x. How much are we buying? 15 kilograms. So 35.75, 15. And here is y equals to 32.75, 15. So 35.75 times 15, that gives me 536.25, 536.25 AED, because I am buying. And then I do 32.75 times 15, press SD, 491.25. 491.25 AED. This is my answer, and this is also my answer. I will spend 536.25 fields at Souk Zafarana. I will spend 491.25 AED at Lulu supermarket. And there, I have answered all the parts to the question. I have compared my Y-intercepts, my rate of change. I have found when each is 15 kilograms. There. I have shown my work clearly. So that is what is expected of you in lesson 5. Read correctly, solve correctly, answer all the parts correctly. Do your examples, and we'll see each other tomorrow.